Mheshimiwa, my last two questions. Uh, Yesterday there was an interview that was there by the Secretary General of Edwin on matters of the national government and the current MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding, because the biggest right on the Raila under the broad-based government. Sifuna, as the Secretary General of ODM, declares the MOU or the broad-based government null and void. According to you, do you see that the MOU and the broad-based government has worked for the betterment of the people of the Republic of Kenya? And my last question is in regards to the Mulembe Nation. Currently, there is a certain force that has been growing inside the Mulembe Nation, called Tower Movement, led by the Tanzania government. My question to you is, as a voice inside the Mulembe Nation in matters leadership, do you think that Governor George Natembea in any way can be compared to people like Sinda Piro and other figures that have led the Mulembe Nation to where it is today in matters leadership? Or can he be compared to Musalia Mudavadi?
That is a very good question. I never wanted to say this about Edwin Sifuna, but because you asked me, I think I will say it. For your information, Sifuna and I were circumcised in the same way. He is my age mate whom we share a lot of things in common. And in our culture, I am not, if I fight with Sifuna, then a goat must be slaughtered, because we are commonly known as Kako. We all belong to an age state called Barasa. People were circumcised in the years of 1996 and 1998. So we have such a strong bond. Yeah. If I will circumcise my boy, I have to give Sifuna a cow. You know, if Sifuna's son comes to my compound here during that rite of passage, I have to give them a goat. And I never wanted to say this, but I'm going to say this. The discussion of forming a broad-based government began many months behind the date that it was announced. There was an agreement that ODM would forward experts to join government. And there were many names of the potential cabinet ministers that were to be considered. And Edwin Sifuna's name was there. As the Secretary General of the party, his name was there. Then somehow his name was removed because his leaders preferred quickly for parent. And they felt like they should not have two names from the Mulembe Nation as experts. So that is how Edwin Sifuna's name was removed. Of course, there were many discussions and many lobbying. I happen to have been among the people that Sifuna approached just to ensure that we push his name through so that he can be appointed cabinet minister. But of course, there are very many of other dynamics that are favored Ampeso Paranya, including an attempt by some people whom we believed were sponsored by him to attempt to court and argue that Ampeso Paranya have an active case with EACC and is therefore not fit to be appointed as whatever. But Papa strongly believed that he's either working for Paranya or no another person from and that's how Sifuna's name was dropped from that list. Yes. And I think that made Sifuna was a bit very bitter. He did not support the whole arrangements. When he was reading the MOU, knowing that his name was had been removed, he was reading the MOU like he was forced, like as if somebody had put a gun on his head, and that is understood. So whatever Edwin Sifuna says against the Portuguese government, where Kenyans should not take it within the seriousness that it serves, because they should just take it like a jilted lover, like an interested party. And I think from where I sit, Edwin Sifuna is conflicted in talking against the broad-based government because he was an interested party. He's just throwing the vitriol because he was never having a picture. But I want to tell you, if his name was among those that were picked for cabinet position, Sifuna could be a defender of this broad-based government. So I think the government, the Kenyan people should not read much in what comes out of Edwin Sifuna, because I have told the country for the first time that Sifuna is a bitter man because his name was moved, and he thought that being the Secretary General of ODM, and then he ought to have been the first to be considered an expert of the country. So he has decided now that my expertise were never wanted in the government. Now he's appearing on TV and all other forums to share his expertise, his wisdom with the rest of the country.
In regard to that, what do you think about Honorable Babu?
You know, let me tell you, Babu, is a very strong governor candidate for Nairobi. Babu, and myself, because of being the people's project, where we have reached, we can win the seats that we are looking for on whatever party, or even without any party. He terrorized the person you kept mentioning from Nairobi until the guy saw stars, decided to disappear. And we can only say that the guy leaving Nairobi to Ngoma is akin to the proverbial statement that coming out of the frying pan with fire. Still the same, still one and the same. So Baba we know is if there is a candidate that will give Sakaja sleepless nights, is Baba Wino. That one is a fact. And I think Baba Wino and myself, we have some commonalities. Both our opponents, I'm told, are doing opinion polls after every 2 months. And consistently for the last 2 years, I think we've been very ahead. That's why they usually abandon projects, this one to the other, one to the other. And the difference between Babu Wino and myself is Babu Wino is a very small difference. Yeah. Babu Wino has 2 university degrees. I have 2 university degrees. He has 2 master's degrees. I have 2 master's degrees. I am also a PhD finalist. And by December, I will have completed my PhD in public administration. And I think we are one of the most educated leaders in our country. And we have the courage to navigate along the political murky waters. This is our time. We are youthful. We have the intelligence of an old man. And we have the charisma of that leader that is required that our country needs to take our country forward. And I think looking at the things that are happening in our country, all those leaders who are in country, the best of them is William Samoei Ruto. All those leaders who are in them from country, who dominated during country, the best of them is William Samoei Ruto. So when William Samoei Ruto completes his term of 10 years by 2032, all those people who are in country, also can name them, all of them, they should all retire and go home so that we can usher in a crop of leaders who dominated during Kibaki and the Uhuru. And so that we can try to now give back a new dimension of our politics. So all those who like Canon Raila Odinga, all of them, once William Ruto completes his 10-year term in 2032, they should all not bother us. They should just all back